especially if you don't have a studio that's dedicated that sits there all the time.
Right. Like right now. In the house. What we looking at? Get back up to after we're done. Give it to him.
No, I'm saying, is it on?
Yes.
Because I see one red, one green, but.
Welcome. We are back again with another episode of the VAC podcast. It's your boy Breeze again, making some more content for you guys, bringing some great conversations with you. And I'm joined by a man who I am fond of, and the way that he thinks, a lot of his values, the things that he's doing in the community is just at another level. And I'm excited to talk with him again today. So I'll let you introduce yourself.
Appreciate it, brother. I always appreciate it. That's very kind of you to say. Nathan Atkins here, creator of the 12 Habit System. I've been on a couple of the segments before. Obviously, combat veteran, Army. Just happy to be here today. I didn't come with, hey, a thing I want to throw out about what's happening with 12 Habits. I want to kind of just free flow with you and definitely talk about brand and marketing, because we were just having a conversation about an idea. So as this is the unique thing. This is literally the first book I've written. I've started writing books before, and you get to a few pages and it kind of just gets filed away somewhere. I think I wrote 25 pages once. I had an ex who had found something. We were going through some files and she found it, read it and came to me and was like, "Were you writing a book?" And I was like, yeah. Where did you find that, right? And she was like, "Oh, this is really good. Why didn't you write the book?" And I was just like, yeah. But this project is a project where I have the format, the structure. I know exactly what it is I want to deliver. And let me tell you what that means. That means that now that I sit in the fifth stage of rewrite.
That's the best stage to be at, right?
So that's how much I know what I want to deliver, right? No, a friend of mine said, "Hey, listen, this looks good. Yeah, it looks decent, right? I've written books before. I've edited books for people before." He was like, "Yeah, you're a corporate guy, former military guy, business owner guy. This all kind of checks information. Yeah. He was like, "Aren't you writing a book though?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, I'm writing a book." And he was like, "So where are you?" And I'm like, "I just gave it to you to show you where I'm at, all the chapters, all the stuff." He was like, No. In the book, where are you? And I'm like, what do you mean? Where am I? The book's not about me. The book's about the 12 habits. People learn how to, acceptance and continuous learning, leadership. He was like, yeah, that's all well and good. He was like, but if people buy a book written by you, they want you to somewhat be in the book, maybe, possibly be in the book, maybe,
and show
be
them
somewhere around the book, right? He was like, other than handing it out, right? And I was like, okay, let's stop messing around. What are you getting at? And he was like, where are your stories? Right? And I was like,
man, going from having the content and putting it out there to turning that into something that people can digest and that want to resonate with it at a high level. I think what he's maybe getting at is that emotional factor behind it. It's one thing to give them the knowledge, but if you can show them the vulnerable side of you going through the process.
So he was actually the second person. The first person, I'm shout out to Visit Vegas Places. I'm going to be on their podcast.
Nice.
Coyle is a phenomenal guy. I was on Visit Vegas Places when I owned the Drip Bar, the IV Vitamin Center. Coyle does a great job of showcasing Vegas businesses and Vegas things off the strip. So really cool. He's 8 years into it. He's really been doing his work. So we met up and we were talking, and I was telling him about, I've got this series, and my one buddy was like, listen, you're doing the corporate professional thing again. He was like, you probably should get back in shirt and tie, and okay, yeah, no problem, whatever. It doesn't bother me. For years, people were like, you sleep in a suit? Like, no, I don't sleep in a suit. Yeah, we wear a suit to work.
Suit,
right, we wear a work. You wear a suit to work for the day. It's like a uniform, like any uniform. If I had a shirt with my name on it, it's a uniform, right?
Right.
It doesn't bother me when I'm in them or when I'm not in them, right?
Yeah, I got my travel agency shirt on.
Yeah. So I mean, but the people were so used to seeing me wear a suit all the time. And then, like, I first moved here.
Yeah.
I was opening the Orange Theory Fitness, the very first one. The one on West Sahara Fort Apache was my license. I sold that license. It's still open today, does very well. I wore the orange polo, which was to promote the brand, the business, the Orange Theory. Everywhere you saw me, I was in the orange polo. When I sold the license, I was trying to figure out what was next. CenturyLink came along, hired me for the government group because of my background and experience. And so I immediately went back into corporate, and I immediately went back into a suit. So my Rotary Club members were like, "Oh my God, you look so great. Oh, you're so nice to see." I'm just like, what are these people talking about? Because when I lived in Chicago, my whole life was in a corporate job, in a suit. So you don't realize that, how people see you. They see you how they see you. How they saw me was a guy who wore an orange polo all the time. Now all of a sudden I'm in a suit. They'd never seen me wear suits daily to work every day.
See, you never even see me wear a suit, but that's how a lot of people know me in the city, is just always being suited up.
Right.
The first probably 3 years, so I was in Florida for some time. I moved back. For that first 3 years that I was back, I was just only suits everywhere that I would go, because I'm like, I have an image to build up so people can recognize, and they're not gonna like look at me with my hair how it is and puffed up or whatever it is,
Right.
and I'm wearing something like this and trying to have a conversation with them about something that's extremely high level that they just don't even know that I have knowledge in.
Sure.
So I definitely understand. I've been there, and I've actually, because it's funny, because I've been thinking about that for the last few months. I'm like, man, do I need to get back into my suit, like get back on that rotation of just having suits on all the time? But
yeah, well, the job kind of demanded, right? So when I came to work for CenturyLink, they were like, "Oh, we don't wear suits here." I'm like, "Well, y'all may not wear suits, but this is the role, technology, sales. But that's Chicago, with Chicago, Vegas is," and it's true. When I started showing up clients and spending time with clients, and my clients were Clark County, the airport, with McCarran at the time, CCSD. I show up and they'd all just kind of like, "What the?"
like a little too serious.
Right. It was a little much, right? And so I used to have a bi-weekly meeting with the McCarran technology team. Bi-weekly, I would show up and we would go through, all the things we had there. We had techs on site that had worked the airport, still do. I don't work for CenturyLink anymore, but I know they still do. And they were just kind of like, "Oh my God, here he comes. Here comes the banker." And then one day I came in to the meeting with them and I didn't have a suit on, and they were all like, "What's going on today?" They were like, Why aren't you in a suit? What's happening?"
Did you quit? Did you resign?
It's interesting how, you can get people comfortable with seeing you. And I think this is a very valid point. And I think people need to really pay attention to this, right? Don't worry about how you think people see you. Worry about how you want to be seen. And if that's how you want to be seen, then start living it, start doing it, start being it. Because if you start doing it, that's what you become, right? I didn't want to delve off into the habits world, but that's the whole point of the 12 habit system. Is this isn't about you learning more or doing more. It's about you actually understanding these 12 specific habits so you can be more.
Right.
Right. It's not just, doing more. So if you want that, then create that. And the easy way to create it is do it. Because if you show up today with it and tomorrow with it, next week with it, 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years, people will forget what you used to be and they'll only see what you are right now.
3 minutes now.
And if you want to change that, change it. Change it whenever you want to change it. Change it however you like to change it. Right? But people will get comfortable with the you want to be. What they can't get comfortable with is you saying you want to be something, but you're not being that something.
Or changing any of your habits
Right.
to become that thing.
How are they going to get comfortable with that? Because you keep presenting the old thing, right? You keep telling everybody I'm this new thing, but you're never emulating that or presenting that or being that. And you're mad at everybody because they don't want to see you as this new thing. But what you're missing is you're not operating and functioning and executing as the new thing, because they'll be more than happy to see you as the new thing. They could care less, really.
Yeah.
They're busy worried about their lives
It's
and
really
their things.
us. We're the problem, right? We're the ones
Usually.
that feel like our past is dictating our present and future, when a lot of people can't remember your past with as much clarity as you can. They
Absolutely.
they can think of your past at the most to 1% if they are not in your immediate family, right?
Sure.
And even your immediate family, they're not there for every moment of your life and every decision that you made, so they have no idea.
Thank God.
That was thank God. That was
My
the
mama
blessing.
probably wouldn't be happy with a lot of things. She'd be like, I know I raised you better than that. You did. You raised me better than that, but the moment was just
I
the
had
moment.
to test.
Mama.
Yeah, I had to
The
test
moment
it out.
was the moment, Mama.
I had to test my milk. No, that was one thing from my mom, because my mom was military, so officer, we moved every 3 years. That was one of the biggest blessings that I learned at a younger age. You can really just change who you are,
Yeah.
you know, and I wouldn't have gotten that if I wasn't moving consistently, because then it became, well, if I'm moving to a new school, do I still want to be this person or seen as this person, or can I just change everything? They only know what I'm going to tell them. And I was thinking that as a young kid,
Right.
They only know what you tell them. They only know how you present yourself. They only know, you know, what you're saying that you want to do and who you are.
Right.
Because why would they think anything other than that?
Because they never saw anything.
Right.
They don't know
Like,
anything.
A good example, I went from one school, I was doing choir, I went to Germany, I stopped like singing completely or doing choir, and it was literally, I felt as though it would be seen as feminine, and at that time when I was younger, I thought that would be like a kind of a soft thing to be doing, whatever. You know, reverse that, but that whole time nobody knew that I could sing until like my senior year, and they were like, "You sing?" Like, yeah, I used to be, you know, like a choir boy. Like I used to be in
Right.
chorus or choir all the time in school, and they were like, "Wow, that's insane."
I never really knew that, right?
You know?
And that's the reality.
That's the
is
point.
How could you? You never saw that part of me.
Yeah.
Right.
Or even if they saw it one time, it's not even enough
Sure.
to put that label on you.
No,
the way we
not
do.
at all. Not at all. So yeah, it was kind of a weird thing where, you know, the whole suit thing. So anyway, my buddy was like, "Oh, I was well, that doesn't matter to me. I have a shirt and tie on." So I have a shirt and tie on for these that go onto my LinkedIn page, right? Because LinkedIn should be more professional. LinkedIn's become very social media, in my opinion, but it still is heavier on business than it is Instagram or Facebook, right? Or TikTok or any of those things. And so my buddy, when we were meeting for some of the prep rolls, some of the B-roll stuff he's doing for the podcast, he was like, he was like, yeah, professional, great. He was like, but let me tell you something. He was like, I've been doing my podcast for 8 years, and obviously has video with his podcast. And he was like, people want to know you. People want to see you. He was like, you should shoot some stuff that's just raw. He was like, you should give them behind the scene looks. He was like, people want to feel like they can connect to you.
Yeah. Like they're seeing something that they shouldn't be seeing. Like maybe you just accidentally uploaded the wrong video.
A little Shannon Sharp move. Yeah.
That's Shannon Sharp. That's how you build PR. It's a
I didn't know my
PR
phone
move.
was on. Embarrassing. Like, oh, is it? Okay.
Like in the club, Shay numbers go like this, man.
Yes, they did. They did. That was, it was interesting, right? It could have been an honest mistake, but you know, these days it's hard to tell. Everything's so structured. But so, you know, we started doing, you know, those type of things, and you know, he follows my social media, which I'm very grateful for. You know, my scant few followers. Although we're growing every day. I learned just the other day, I went to shoot a live, because when I had the drip bar, we had about 13,000 or so, which a decent sized following. But you know, this is brand new. I've built, you know, the whole book concept, and you know, there's, you know, we're not purchasing anything. We're putting out content, and people who follow, right? And so I think we're up to a few hundred. But I went to shoot something, one of these like raw behind the scenes things, and I was going to shoot it as a live, and I found out that now you can't shoot a live if you don't have more than 1,000 followers. You got to have 1,000 followers minimum
on TikTok.
That's a new thing. No, Instagram. I'm on Instagram.
now
Yeah,
too?
I'm not even on TikTok.
Dang.
Yeah, I tried to shoot the live,
I didn't
and
know
it
that.
was like, you know, you can't shoot a live, boy. You don't have 1,000 followers. I was like, okay, well, I'll just shoot it on my camera and load it up. And yeah, it's not like it can't get done, but
You're just frustrated now.
So I was just, to be honest, I'm not a big live fan either because I'm kind of a goof, right? So then I'm kind of, especially when I used to do the drip art stuff, like, hey, it's a Saturday, hot out here. I have to flip the camera around, flip the camera back. It was always messy. People enjoyed it, but I used
suck
to.
at it. I suck at it bad.
Yeah.
And people make a lot of money. One of my friends, he used to just train people on how to go live. Like if they were social media content creators already, he was like, if you're not going live, you don't understand how much money that you're missing. Right?
Interesting.
If you're a creator and you have, let's say, 10,000 to 500,000, there's people that have 500,000 that don't go live. You can go on TikTok.
Wow.
You go live and you will make so much money in one day. If you're on TikTok, for example, granted, TikTok takes 40% of earnings, right? So that's a huge chunk. But they're giving you back a huge amount of audience and eyeballs that you wouldn't otherwise have. So I have people they make $1,000 a day just by being on live and just talking to people and hanging out, or just recording the things that they're doing in between meetings or in between doing actual work.
Interesting. I need to talk to you about that. I can always use an extra check now. For those out there listening, if you need to send extra checks, I can get you guys my information. I always take extra checks. I never say no to extra checks.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll distribute it back how it needs to.
We don't send checks back, right?
Yeah.
But funny you say that, right? When you say they take a lot, that's funny because that's a concept or a construct of belief, because realistically, what's the investment in this business, right? Your phone, maybe a tripod to hold it, right? You can lean it against something, but so the fact that you get 60% margin out of that business, but that's how people. My son had just said to me, he saw somebody post something about a lottery winner who won $1 billion and obsessing over the 400 million that was taken in taxes, and I'm just like, what are we talking about?
Right.
You probably didn't make $100,000 a year. You just got $600 and some odd million, and you're more focused on the 400 million additional you didn't get to keep. Like, where have we gone mentally?
Which isn't even a business model that makes sense. Where we have all of our people in the U.S. putting money into this thing to give it to one person at the end.
Well, there might be multiple winners. Sometimes there's multiple winners.
Yeah, sometimes multiple winners.
But still, it's like this notion, or like you said, right? They take a lot, right? 40% really isn't a lot.
Right.
If you want to ask a business owner who's built out a space of a place that he's renting, bought the equipment, staffed it up, 60% margins have people salivating. Most businesses are running on 18 to, if they're lucky, 30% margins, and 30%, you're at a high productive business, with the exception of specialty things like software and apps, and those things generally don't have high overhead, so the return. One of the reasons for saying, hey, this business is making money and it's doing okay, but it doesn't look like it's going to be that type of business, and the amount of work, energy, and effort, and the percent of what I share for taking on all the costs and the headaches and everything for it, I was like, 3 years in, okay, enough's enough. When I decided to write the book and do coaching and set myself up to be a speaker and do all these other things, right? Yeah. One of the immediate things I recognize is the margins for this business versus the margins for the business I just walked away from, exponentially different.
Yeah, different worlds.
Right.
Completely.
Right. I mean, margins in doing what I'm about to do now are 70-80%, because really what you're paying for is you're paying for promoting yourself a little bit. Well, I do that on social media. I have a post that drops every day. It's a quote and a saying. It's my brand. It has the setup. It's it's raw, it's ugly, but little by little we're up to 400 and some odd followers, and I know people are giggling and snickering at that because they're like, oh, I got 4,000 people and I'm just a nobody. It's like, yeah, I hear you. It's a process that grows, but my point is every day I had an expense, $28 some odd thousand every month that was required to keep that business open, right? That was a requirement.
It is gone.
This business that I'm doing now, my consulting and book writing and coaching and speaking, I get a gig, great. If I don't get a gig, well, no one's saying at the end of the month, hey, rent's due, hey, payroll's due, hey, all these things are due.
Or I'm gonna shut you down.
Or I'm gonna shut you down, right?
Right.
Because you're short.
That's way different.
Which is way different. So when I hear you say, they take a lot, 40%, I'm like,
Yeah.
first thing in my mind went, damn, you get to keep 60% for just turning your phone on.
That was for the crowd.
Right, for turning your phone on and talking. Like,
for the record, I had the exact same conversation with the guys that we were training on doing the TikTok lives, because they were just like, I don't know, 40%. It just seems like it's not fair. I'm like,
not fair.
You can't get. I said, one, life isn't fair. Two, if you go on any other platform with 0 followers and you went live, you would get 0 views, 0 eyeballs to it, and you would have to build it from scratch. Like, try to build on Twitch, right? And go on Twitch for 6 months before you get your first 100 followers and only 10 that show up every time that you go live. And try to have resilience through that. That's the world that a lot of other people live in.
I don't even know what Twitch is.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here with a blank stare on my face like, Twitch, that's a new one. Let me write
Yeah, another streaming platform. And it's great to build your audience, but it's the curve on that thing is way different than how you can just linearly go from 0 to a few eyeballs right on TikTok just by going live as soon as you go live. And I'm just like, you don't understand how valuable
Maybe
that
I need
is.
to move to TikTok.
As far as lives, I would say so, because oh man, if you understood how much of a Wild West it was, like when I say goosebumps of how crazy it is on TikTok, they have people who are they have their own QVC channels on TikTok. So all they're doing is just selling stuff, flash sales. They have brands that send them merchandise, and all they do is they have a timer, a clicker, and they're like, hey, if you want to buy this is what you could buy at this price. We only have 10 left, and then they go to the next item. You can only do this, and there's 10 left, and they got a headset, and they're just walking around. Or brands are actually paying content creators to do that. Like, they'll pay a female content creator to run a live where they're just selling merch all the time. And it ups the sales of brands exponentially.
How cool is that?
Yeah, it's a great business model. And there's a ton of different models like that you'll see. Like, if you go on the lives on TikTok and just roll, it's just people like you and me sitting on the couch, drinking beer, hanging out, and just not talking about anything, or maybe just I'm with a few other people that are on the live, and all of a sudden you see they have 100 people on there, people sending them money, in gifts or whatever on the platform. So that's where I'm like, you're on a platform now that is able to give you the views and eyeballs and put you in front of the right people, and you're complaining that they took a percentage of it when you would have 0 of it. Like, you would have 100% of 0 versus 60% of whatever they're able to generate for you.
Yeah, it's a hard concept to get across a lot of times, until you live it or you understand it. But it's a great time. I think as a lot of veterans find their way to what do I do next. I know the biggest problem is the structure, right? Military is very structured. So when you come out of the military, I came out in '94, so it's quite a while ago. But back in those days when you were coming out, well, then you went and got a job with some company, right? Because you traded one structure for another structure. And that company was eager to hire you. Even in the 90s, not so much like it was through 70s, 80s, where veterans were seen as, I know you got discipline, I know you have structure, I know you have these things. They wanted those type of employees to show up at their jobs and at their businesses. Today, military maybe looked at it a little bit differently, just from a different lens, and competition is much greater. Many more college grads, more people competing for, these white collar jobs. Not as many people competing for blue collar jobs. And I know that the talk is, hey, blue collar jobs, you can go, you don't have to spend all this college money. You don't have to do all this other stuff. You don't have to, you can go make all this great money right away. I don't know about make great money right away. There's apprenticeships, and you have to learn the craft, and you have to do those things. But it's a shorter cycle, yes. Possibly coming out of the military, you may already have those skills, especially like Navy welders and variety of things. Welders get paid very well, so you may be able to transfer, some of these skills as well as you're coming out. But it's that missing structure, and they're like, well, what do I do with myself? What how do because I knew where I was supposed to be every day. I knew when I
Right.
was
Unless you're like a very high up officer, you're not used to creating the structures that everybody has to sit with. You're placed in it. And when you get out of the military, it's a wild, wild west of everything that you can do. It's like, but what should you do?
Right.
And what you should do is what's in alignment with your soul and heart and your purpose. But you should find that and then go to the thing that is most closely and directly in line with it and try to build there. Because to the point, you can make millions of dollars doing anything. There are people who have janitorial companies that they turned it into $1 million company. There are people that have toilet paper companies that they just started out their garage and turned it into $1 million company. These things exist. You have to have, the craziest pathway or, shoot for something that's way outside of that's just not real. You really just need to sit with one thing and focus on that thing and put your energy into it. Like in water, you're literally watering it until it grows into the thing that you see it being in the future.
Yeah.
But if you like water and didn't grow today, so I'm gonna grow over here now. Digging holes all over your yard now. Work like that.
that is